condition. But open up your brains right now to just have an idea about this audiology and acoustics. So when we take this hearing and listening, the two things. So hearing is by means of your external ear, middle ear, and
This
internal ear.
conference will now be recorded.
External ear, middle ear, and internal ear, as you know that. And then listening is something which is understanding by the brain. So you know the difference between these two. When some sound is coming from outside and it is reaching the external ear, pinna, external auditory canal, tympanic membrane, malleus incus stapes, going to the cochlea, and as you know that pathway of E. coli MA till the level of auditory cortex, many things are happening, and which is all because of a physical property. Much of the physics is involved in this physical property called as sound. So when someone is telling you that I'm not able to hear properly or I'm having some deafness, you should be able to make them convinced that you have got some problem and you are going to be treated like this. When such is a case, you are going to handle the patient of how you are going to deal them as a part of your examination and investigation. When you are examining, you do all possible things like related to your conductive deafness, related to your sensorineural deafness, related to your tuning forks, by which you get a fair idea of what is the problem in the patient as a part of your deafness examination. These are all the clinical things that you're going to do, including the tuning fork tests. If you know that there are Rinnis test, Faber's test, and absolute bone connection test. At the end of the day, you're going to get into some conclusion that what is the problem in the patient, whether it is conductive hearing loss or sensorineural hearing loss or mixed hearing loss, and what is the reason for that. In such a situation, the patient will be asking how much percentage I have as a problem. So, like when you go to of course, now you cannot go outside the lockdown period. When you go to a mall and you're trying to purchase some brinjals, you ask him, "Are there brinjals?" Yes. He'll ask you how much you want. Then you should be able to tell something that I want half liter of brinjals, half kg of brinjals, or half meter of brinjals. Which one is supposed to be a better thing in this particular situation? In this situation, half kg of brinjals is supposed to be a better option. So as you know, everybody is fancying about how many dollars you are getting, how many rupees you are getting. Yes, ma'am. Like, hey, I'm not started and I'm not started. I'm just giving you lecture. I'm moving. Yeah. So in such a situation, you should have a fair idea of what is the unit for sound, how much loss I have got. For that, you should have idea about this particular audiology and acoustics. So all this, I got a complaint the slide is not moving, but you should have a basic idea of what we are measuring. As you know, when you go to a temple, you ring ting, which is called as bell. Okay, Alexander Graham Bell. And you know the unit of sound is nothing but decibel. So for that reason only, you should have this concept of acoustics, audiology, and basics of what we are going to do for a patient when he comes for a hearing evaluation. So this introduction is needed for you to get your minds towards something called as decibel. Is it like a tape? No. Or is it like something which is measured with the help of a cup? No. It has to be measured by something called as an audiometer. Audiometer, audio meter, which is done by audiology department, and acoustics are something which are helpful for understanding the natures of the sounds. So let us see these audiology acoustics basics which are important for you as a 2 marks question, as a 4 marks question, or it might unfortunately sometimes come as a bouncer and 10 marks question also. The basic concept of this. So how about this audiology and acoustics? It is like the study of hearing disorders, hearing evaluation, hearing rehabilitation, which helps in the diagnosis of the hearing disorders. So you have a patient with some hearing problem. So you need to know whether he is having a conductive deafness, number one, sensory neural deafness, number two, or mixed deafness, number three. So hearing disorders, hearing evaluation, rehabilitation, help in the diagnosis and management of hearing disorders. That is what is all about the audiology. It is one science. MSc audiology is one specialty which is done by BSc audiology people, which can be done after intermediate. This you should have a basic idea about it. Not the ENT surgeon that you are going to do the audiology evaluation. There is specialist for that. And there is a room for that, audiology room, wherein you can go for this pure tone audiometry. Pure tone audiometry. Pure tone audiometry, the name itself says. We are going to see that, of course. Next, acoustics. You went into a theater, you could not hear the sound properly of the drama which you went there. You just complain that the acoustics of the theater is not good. There are reverberations, there are more amount of, what you say, the repercussions of the same sound, we are not able to hear it properly. So that science which is related to that is called as acoustics. That is production, control, transmission, reception, and effects of sound. Production, control, transmission, reception, and effects of sound. So audiology and acoustics are two different particular specialties which help us in knowing about the sound. So then what is sound? Sound is nothing but it is a mechanical wave. It is a mechanical wave. So you know this brick concept nowadays being, one brick falls on other brick falls on other, like a cycle falling on other cycle. It's like a longitudinal wave. It goes and compresses each other, compresses, and there are compressions and rarefaction. Compressions and rarefactions. As you know, sound is a physical phenomenon like light, and the fastest movement is in your solids. As you could see, train somewhere 1 kilometer behind. On the track, you will get the vibrations. That is the property of sound, that you could hear it with your ears. So fastest in solids, slowest in gases. In air, the velocity is 344 meters per second, 20 degrees temperature, almost 1120 feet per second, something like that. I request all of you to have a pen and a paper and write down these properties. This is just more like a physics class, more of like a mathematics class, which requires some amount of writing. It cannot be, it's like not like a medicine class or a ENT class per se, because you need to have an understanding of few of the properties, and numbers are there, and a lot of things are to be understood. So to get an understanding of decibel, you need to understand a lot. If you understand that, you have a fair concept, and you can like as if you can go forward with all the concepts. So now frequency. So frequency of you and me is matching. Yes or no? If you are able to understand what I say, when I say something, you will be able to understand. That is frequency matching. That is in a understanding terminology. But in a physical terminology, frequency is nothing but a number of waves per second or cycles per second. Cycles per second. For example, you're having a helicopter and its fan is rotating. How many times it is rotating per second? If you take that, that becomes a cycles per second. Cycles per second. So it is measured in hertz. Hertz. Cycles per second, hertz. So next, if you see, frequency and pitch has got some link. Some link. What is the link? Frequency is a physical terminology, that is how much it is. But pitch is a subjective sensation. Pitch is a subjective sensation. For example, I'll just give you an analogy here. If you see someone, whatever the feeling that you get, it is a subjective sensation. For example, if you see the height of a person, for example, 6 feet, that is the feet is the height. The feeling you get inside your mind is the feel. That is the subjective sensation. Something like that. The same way, if you go for a sound, a voice is heard. For example, female voice. Female voice. 200 to 400 hertz is the frequency. Female voice. You could get that voice like that. But when you feel the voice, you could feel that it is a female thing. When you measure, it is 400 hertz, for example. And if you're getting a male voice, like me, like while I'm talking like that, male voice, you could get as 200 hertz, for example, I'm telling you. So 150 to 200 is male one, and 200 to 400 is female one. So female voice is a high pitch voice, as you could see, the voice modulation, high pitch voice. The voice is increasing in a pitch. So based on frequency, hertz and pitch is subjective sensation which you are able to understand. Next, the concept of speech frequencies. What is speech frequency? We have n number of frequencies. We are not bothered about hearing for all those things. Speech frequency is the one which is important for audiology. Why? Because conversation is important for us to live. So that is why we calculate the speech frequencies. Audible frequencies. Audible frequencies, as you know, since our childhood, we have been reading 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. Suprasonics, infrasonics. Suprasonics and infrasonics. We have to make sure that our hearing frequencies from 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. Whereas speech frequencies that are calculated in the audiogram, are 500, 1000 and 2000. 500, 1000 and 2000 hertz. So 500 hertz, 1000 hertz and 2000 hertz are the speech frequencies which you see in the pure tone audiometer graph. Pure tone audiometer graph. And overtones. What are overtones? What are overtones? For example, you are given a tuning fork of 512 hertz. Instead of producing 512 hertz, it is producing 520 hertz, for example, or 550 hertz. It is not fidelity. Infidelity. When someone is not following what he is supposed to do, he is something called as infidel. Yes or no? The same way, fundamental frequencies which are crossed and then they are behaving like not related to that, they are called as overtones. You are expecting for a 512 and it is behaving more than that. That is called as overtones. This is the concept of frequency, pitch, speech frequency, audible frequency, overtones, etc. Now there are two intentions to learn about audiology. Number one, this is the x-axis which I am telling you. X-axis is the frequency and this is the y-axis. Y-axis which is the intensity. 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 Yes. How would you understand what you have to understand about intensity? Intensity is the strength of the sound, the power of the sound, the pressure of the sound. Strength of the sound, power of the sound, and the pressure of the sound. Suppose you don't like someone, you say, please get out of my motherland. You will be shouting against the British, is it or not, as a warrior. Get out! You can't say get out of the motherland, it will not sound good. You say get out of the motherland, then it will be intensified. The dialogue is intensified with a high intensity, with a masculine pitch, masculine frequency, that is 200 hertz. Get out, if you are saying, that will become the intense voice. That is, instead of speech voice, which is nearly 60 decibels, 60 decibels, which is measured with this y-axis, 60 decibels, I say 90 decibels, I want to shout, get out of my motherland. That intensity, that is the difference between pitch and intensity. So when you say what is the subjective sensation produced by the intensity, it is called as loudness, which I told you already. So pitch is related to frequency, intensity is related to loudness, as you could see. So pitch, how would you remember x-axis or y-axis? Pitch in the cricket stadium is horizontal or vertical? It's horizontal. X-axis, pitch, frequency. What is y-axis? Intensity. So this is the pure tone audiometric graph that is plotted between pitch and intensity. So how would you remember this intensity? Intensity is measured by what? Decibels. How is bell? Bell is located vertically or horizontally? Bell is located vertically. Yes or no? You are hanging the bell vertically, therefore decibel. It is in the y-axis. Pitch is horizontal x-axis. So as you could see these two things, when I want to speak like a female with a high pitch voice and high intensity, same dialogue I will be saying. Get out of my motherland! Get out of my motherland! That becomes the female pitch, which you are doing a mimicry, increasing the pitch of the voice, using the cricothyroid muscle, increasing the length of the vocal cords, stretching them, and saying, get out of my motherland! Different pitch, high intensity also you can use. So that is the difference between pitch and this particular loudness. That is frequency and intensity. This is what you have to understand before learning the pure tone audiometry. Now going into more details of our sinusoidal wave pattern. So what is sound actually? As I told, it is the longitudinal waves that are there. So whenever the sound is made by Fourier's analysis, there is something called as Fourier's analysis. You split the sound, something like that. Single frequency wave shows sinusoidal wave. So these are big mathematical terminology which even I also don't understand. So they show sinusoidal wave. Very tough to understand. Mathematics, logarithm, etc. etc. But we'll understand it to our level, which is needed for us as a doctor. The sound sensation produced by a sinusoidal wave is called as pure tone sound. So what is a pure tone sound? For example, I am testing a patient with a sound zoom, zoom, zoom. A sound with, for example, I am telling 500 hertz. Whenever I am giving a patient a sound, I am giving the same 500 hertz. Zoom, zoom. So when I have to increase the frequency, instead of getting the sound as zoom, you get a zoom, zoom. That is, for example, 1000 hertz. If you want to give 2000 hertz to the patient, you have increased more in the frequency, something like zoom, zoom. That is the sound that is given in the box at the nearby to the ear. So when I want to give sound, I should say it as zoom. That is 500. When I'm giving sound, it should be pure-hearted like me, you, and everybody. Yes, we are all pure-hearted, is it or not? So we should give a pure tone sound to the patient to test a particular frequency. That is a pure tone. That is called a single frequency sound. But whereas when you go out in the morning, of course, there are no sounds on the road. Roads are empty right now. They are so beautifully depicting all the chirping sounds of the birds. Yeah, water is flowing, and then air is blowing. All the natural sounds, which are complex sounds, not having one frequency, they have got many frequencies. Many frequencies are mixed. Many frequencies are mixed. They are called as natural sounds. Natural sounds are complex sounds of different frequencies. When you want to test one person, I think you have to give something called a 500 hertz zoom, or 1000 or 2000, something like that. So that is all about the natural sounds. So this is a 4 years analysis which I told already. 4 years analysis, it divides into sinusoidal waves of single frequencies. As you could as you could get it till now, you are getting into the concept of audiology and acoustics. So what is a threshold actually? See, when I get into the class, first class you don't get up actually. Okay. Second class you get up automatically. Why? Because I know your threshold. When I shout to a particular, can't you stand up? When I say that, you don't listen in the first class. But once the second class, which I'm coming into the theory class, for example, I say, can't you stand up? Yes, I reached your threshold of your brain. I reached your thought process. So I could make you stand because your threshold is reached by my voice. Something like that, there is called as hearing threshold. A particular amount of sound which wakes up for hearing. A particular amount of sound which wakes up for hearing is called as threshold of sound, hearing threshold. The minimum sound, for example. So this is the season. I am going to introduce one more word called as SPL. Actually, this is IPL season, is it or not? But I am going to introduce SPL. SPL is not school people's leader. SPL is sound pressure level. Sound pressure level. Sound pressure, I told you, pressure level. Under specific conditions in which a person gives a predetermined percentage of correct responses on repeated trials. What is hearing threshold? So actually what you have to call is that, for example, a person is trying to listen in 6 attempts, out of which 1, 2, 3 attempts. If I say this, 1, 2, 3 attempts, at least 3 out of 6 times, you should be able to wake him up. That is 50% of the correct responses you should be able to do. That is called as a hearing threshold. So out of 6 times, at least you wake him up 3 times with a sound. That is, he's able to hear, not waking up properly. He's able to hear 3 times out of 6 times. Based on this only, our discussion goes forward. Sound pressure level. Pressure dynes per square centimeters. I hope you all have your pens and books in your hand. Please write down every word which I am telling you. Understanding is more important than subject. When you understand things, things go forward well. That is hearing threshold. So you go back that in PTA, that is pure tone audiometry, we obtain the thresholds. What do we obtain? Thresholds. For example, what is pure tone audiometry I told you? So this is the y-axis for decibels. This is the x-axis for frequency. For every frequency, that is 125, 125, 250, 500, 1000, 2000, 4000 and 8000. This is the graph which you are going to plot. Frequency on the x-axis and intensity on the y-axis. Intensity starts at -10, 0, okay, next 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, something like that. You have got the intensity calculations over here. In pure tone audiometry, you calculate for every frequency what is the intensity required. For every frequency, what is the what you are going to calculate in pure tone audiometry. Every frequency, what is the intensity required. So we obtain the threshold. For example, you take 1000 frequency, you how much sound you want to hear, you calculate the intensity. For 1000 frequency, how much sound you want to calculate, you calculate the intensity. For example, 1000, you are needing some 20 decibels to hear. At 2000, you are needing some 30 decibels. At 3000 or 4000, you are needing some 40 decibels. You dot, join all the dots and then put a graph. That is called as pure tone audiometry. In pure tone audiometry, we calculate based on this threshold, compare the subject with a normal subject. Compare the subject with a normal subject. Okay. For example, he is tall by 5 feet 7 inches. Indian male, normal standard, you have put it like that, 5 feet 7 inches. Someone less than that, someone more than that. So Indian average height in a male is 5 feet 7 inches, for example. You imagine someone less than that, someone more than that. The same way, all over the world, you take healthy individuals and try to take some basic sound that is heard by them, and based on that you compare. That we are going to come forward. So based on that, normal hearing level is fixed at 0 decibels. 0 decibel is the normal hearing level. So based on this 0 decibel, which has some sound, don't think that 0 decibel doesn't have sound. 0 decibel has got some sound. How is it? We are going to see. Based on this only, we are going to have a relative threshold. Here you could see a relative threshold. So relative threshold. So hearing threshold we came to here. Relative threshold, something called as absolute threshold. What is absolute threshold? Absolute threshold is a physical terminology wherein you are going to measure the sound pressure level. I told you SPL. SPL directly calculated in dynes per square centimeter, that is the absolute threshold. So absolute threshold, relative threshold. It enables 50% of the sound stimulus to be heard by the ear. I already told you about this one. Okay. So two words, absolute threshold, relative threshold, and absolute threshold is related to sound pressure level. Clinically, we are not going to measure how much pressure is going to make him hear. We don't want that pressure. We want some standard unit called as decibel. How we are going to, we'll do that. So it is a relative threshold that is useful for us than this absolute threshold. So based on this only, we are going to have something called as intensity. As you know, intensity is the loudness, that is the relative sound which is comparable to ideal normal hearing threshold. So we are going to compare the hearing of a person with an intensity, that is I am having, for example, 10 decibel hearing. I am normal. Before 25 it will be normal, below 25 it is normal. That is, someone shouts with 10 decibel, for example, I'm telling you, someone shouts with 10 decibel, I will be able to hear. For example, if I have got a hearing loss of 30, 40, or 50, for example, take 50 decibel, I will hear only when someone shouts at 50 decibel level. If my hearing threshold is more worse, someone has to shout loudly. How much loudly or how much intensity is required, that is calculated for this intensity, and that is the hearing loss that you are having. If I am normal, I have 0 decibel. If I am having 10 decibel, even then also normal. Till 25 decibel I can be considered as normal. So I am normal. Shout with 100 decibels, then only I am able to hear, then I am having 100 decibel hearing loss. This is a concept which you have to know. That is intensity, that is helpful for this measurement of the hearing loss. So calculations. So take up pen and paper, start writing whatever I say. This is all like writing on paper then understanding, not like more like a exercise than understanding. Okay, I'll try to see this. Decibel is the intensity of sound. Bell and decibel. Bell, a bigger unit. Decibel, 1/10 of a bell. 10 decibels equal to 1 bell. Okay. For example, we have a 2000 rupees note, very difficult to handle. If it falls down, things are gone. So we don't have 2000 rupees note. We'll try to keep 4 500 rupees notes or 20 100 rupees notes. Is it or not? If 5 fall also, 15 will be there. That is the concept which I am trying to tell you here. So that is why that much big bell is not needed. Small decibel is needed for our understanding, for our small brain. Okay. Average minimum sound just audible is calculated by taking normal hearing subjects. So what is the normal minimum sound that is needed for hearing? Is one big question for this International Society of Audiologists when they started this. So how do you understand this one? Is take 18 to 25 years of age, normal hearing persons, a group of persons, do experiment on them and let them hear the minutest sound which a person can hear. This is an experimental value which is calculated. If you take the pressure, so as you know, someone shouts loudly, why this much of pressure you are putting on my ear? You say that. In the same way, that pressure, which is called as sound pressure level. Sound pressure level. Sound pressure level is to be calculated in this age group, and that comes out to be 0.00024 dynes per square centimeter. Remember, mind you dear, this is dynes per square centimeter pressure is the minutest sound heard by a normal person. A minutest sound heard by a normal person is 0.00024 0.00024 dynes per square centimeter. Maximum sound, maximum energy, for example, energy or sound or pressure or intensity or power, these are all related to force. Is it or not something related to? Not directly related, of course, they are linked to each other. 0.0024 dynes per square centimeter is the minimum energy heard. Maximum energy is, if you are saying, it is 2400 dynes per square centimeter. If you multiply 10 power 7 to this, it becomes 2400. So 0.00024 into 10 power 7 becomes 2400. Okay. And if you take the minimum energy, as a part of watts, if you take it in watts, it becomes 10 power minus 16. So here it is dynes per square centimeter, which is pressure. Dynes per square centimeter is pressure. This watts is power. Watts is power. So 10 power minus 16 is the watts, which is calculating the intensity. For us, the intensity is required, is it or not? Per decibel. So this is what is the calculated minimum value of power, that is intensity. And this is the maximum energy, that is 10 power minus 2. It is almost 10 power 14 times. As you could see, 10 power minus 16 and 10 power minus 2, the difference is 10 power 14. 10 power 14, when it comes to log scale, 14 into 10 becomes 140. When it comes to log scale, 14 into 10 becomes 140. 140 decibels is the maximum sound that is to be heard by us. Okay. When you take this one, this is the pressure, 0.0024 dynes per square centimeter pressure, minimum energy. Maximum energy is 2400. The difference is 10 power 7 times. When you take it in a logarithmic scale here, the intensity is 10 power minus 16 and 10 power minus 2. It is a kind of, mathematical calculation. Don't get offended too much. You will be able to understand. But you have to write on paper. So they are equal to same energies. So this energy is equal to this energy, but we want this intensity to be calculated, so we are focused on this. We are not focused on pressure, we are focused on power. And remember one more formula, power is equal to pressure square. Power, ladies and gentlemen and youth, he is called as the power king. What is the power king? Is equal to pressure square. Power is equal to pressure square. Power, as you know, power is equal to pressure square. Keep that in mind. Next, I'm going to go for the next slide. The ratio of minimum to maximum, if you calculate, I told you it is 10 power 14 times. The minimum sound heard is 10 power minus 16. The maximum sound heard is 10 power minus 2. As a part of your intensity, that is watts per square centimeter. Is it or not? That is a very high value. That is a very high value. It is almost 10 power 14 times. 10 power 14 times. 10 power 14 times. Ten power 14 times, which is a very high value. Which is a very high value. So for PTA, comparison is difficult with 10 power 14 times. Therefore, log scale is used by Graham Bell, who calculated this decibel in comparing the intensity, that is 0 to 14. I told you already, 10 power 14 was made into 0 to 14, simple numbers. 10 power 14 is a huge number, 0 to 14 is a simple number. Is it or not? So Bell is the intensity ratio. Intensity ratio comparing the normal person and abnormal person. Log to base 10 scale, don't get offended by these formulas, just as simple as that. You have to just by heart this bell is equal to log of IO by IR. IO is the observed sound, IR is the reference sound. We are taking one reference sound, IO by IR, IO by IR. Just simply remember that log IO by IR. Bell. Bell is a bigger sound, so you want to make it a smaller one. Easy to understand. Decibel, you want to take it as decibel. One bell is equal to 10 decibel. So when you take bell as log of IO, it is observed by reference sound. IO is observed sound by reference sound. You take decibel, one bell is equal to 10 decibels. If you take the same formula, 10 comes here because 10 decibels is equal to one bell. Log of IO by IR. What is the maximum tolerable sound here in this formula? If you put 10 into log of IO by IR. 10 into log of IO by IR is 10 power minus 16 by 10 power 2. 10 power 2. 10 power minus 16 by 10 power 2. Therefore, it becomes as 140. 140 being the highest intensity sound that is helpful for calculation here in this particular formula. So, decibel is equal to 10 into log of IO by IR. IO is observed sound, R is the reference sound. So decibel is a ratio. It's never an absolute value. Log scale is never linear. It is a non-linear thing, of course. Difficult to understand this log scale. It is a non-linear thing. So 20 decibel is never the double for 10 decibel. 20 decibel is never the double for 10 decibel. It becomes 10 times more, something like that. Okay, like 0 to 14 you are going to have. So 0 to 140 decibels you are going to have. So whenever it is increasing, the sound is increasing exponentially. It is a relative unit that is expressed in specific reference. So minimum sound heard is 10 power minus 16, 10 to the power of minus 16 watts per square centimeter, as you know this. What is just audible sound? Just audible sound is when you calculate as a decibel value, decibel is equal to 10 into log of IO by IR. Is it or not? IO is the observed sound. Minimum is 10 power minus 16. What is the nominal sound that can be heard? Reference sound. It is 10 power minus 16 once again. So log 10. 10 into log 1 is 0 decibels. I'm sorry. So 10 into log IO by IR. IO is the minimal sound that can be heard is 10 power minus 16 and the reference sound that you have as a minimal is 10 power minus 16. So this by this becomes 1. 16 by 16 becomes 1. 10 into log 1 is 0 decibels. Based on this only, the minimal sound calculated is 0 decibels. So you have to understand that 0 decibel does not mean no sound. It is the minimum audible sound that is heard by a group of people, as I already told you, of about almost 18 to 25 years of age, and then able to hear normally all over the world, that is taken as standard. So 30 decibel sound is almost 10 power 3 times stronger than 0 decibel sound. I already told you that it is going to be like something like a power, that is exponential raise. So 30 decibel is 1000 times more than 0 decibel sound. Next, you have got one more word called as intensity level. Intensity level. The class will be over in 15 more minutes, of course. I think so, according to the prognosis. So you have to bear few of the terminologies which are making you understand about pure tone audiometry. Next class will be about your all audiometers and audiometries, which for which the basics is this understanding. So intensity level and sound pressure level. I told you already, sound pressure level is pressure which we want to know about that particular sound, pressure of particular sound. But we are not bothered about pressure, we are bothered about the power. Pressure, how much pressure is putting on your is not an issue, but how much power is useful for hearing is an issue. Power is equal to pressure square, I already told you. What we use in pure tone audiometry is the power. what we use in pure tone audiometry is the power, which is calculated by means of this intensity level. So intensity level corresponds to power, that is 10 power, example watts per square centimeter. For us, power is more important. Power is more important. Just remember blindly, like the power, anybody needs power, is it or not? Power is more important. That is watts per square centimeter, which is calculated by means of your intensity level, IL, intensity level. SPL is sound pressure level. Okay. So pressure, if you want to take, the units are changing. Dynes per square centimeter. Minimum is 0.0024 dynes per square centimeter. 0.0024 dynes per square centimeter. I already told you. And power is intensity level. What we are using in pure tone audiometry, it is intensity level. Next, I already told you pressure is directly proportional to square root of power. That is, power is proportional to pressure square. If you take decibel levels for our calculation, intensity level 10 into log IO by IR, already told you. The same thing you are putting here, power is equal to pressure square. Power is equal to pressure square. So this is the power which you are calculating. This is the pressure which you are calculating. So power is equal to pressure square. So when pressure has to be squared, it will give the power, that is intensity level. So SPL, if it is to give the intensity level, you have to whole square the everything. When you whole square everything in logarithmic conditions, the 2 here, 2 which is there here comes here, 2 into 10 is becoming 20. So it becomes 20 into log PO by PR. This is IO by IR, 20 into log PO by PR. So intensity level, if you calculate, it becomes 10 into log IO by IR, which is calculated helpful for pure tone audiometry, and sound pressure level is for this one. Okay. So PO by PR, if you want to calculate, PO is the measure pressure, reference pressure, minimum reference pressure is 0.0024 dynes per square centimeter. It's very simple if you are writing it on paper. So power is equal to pressure square, keep it in mind. So 140 decibels, for example, how did you get this 20 into log PO by PR? If you take this 20 down, you will get 7 here, is it or not? 140 divided by 7 is equal to log PO by PR. You take logarithm over here, 10 power 7 is equal to PO by PR. 10 power 7 is equal to PO by 0.0024, which is a minimal sound. So maximum tolerable sound is thus calculated 2400 dynes per square centimeters. So power is equal to pressure square. Minimal intensity that is heard is 10 power, that is 2400 dynes per square centimeter when you take it as a pressure level, or 10 power minus 2 when you take it as a power level. Okay. So you are getting confused, of course. That is a different issue. Minimal power that is heard is 10 power minus 16. Maximum 10 power minus 2. Okay. Minimal pressure 0.0024 dynes per square centimeter. Maximum pressure 2400 dynes per square centimeter. Remember these 4 things, it will be easier. So just audible sound is 0.0024 dynes per square centimeters. And mind you, this is all calculated at particular frequency. For a particular frequency only, we mind about 1000 hertz. For 500 hertz, it may be different. Whatever we are calculating till now is for 1000 hertz frequency. A bit confusing, but you will understand it better. 1000 because it falls in the speech frequencies. We have got many frequencies, but what we are hearing is, what is the speech frequency that we are hearing? 500, 1000 and 2000. 500, 1000 and 2000 are the speech frequencies. So 1000 is considered as the basic in the center of the 500,000, 2000. Therefore, we calculate all this for this particular 1000 hertz. So different frequencies, the sound may be different, but we are worried of hearing only. Therefore, we are calculating for 1000 hertz only because it is a speech frequency. So different levels are calculated for different frequencies. This is none of our business right now. So 0 decibel sound, you have got hearing level and SPL. when you are calculating for pressure, it is called as SPL. We are not bothered about pressure. We are bothered about hearing or not. That particular intensity, what is HL? HL is the hearing level at particular 0 decibels. Hearing level at 0 decibels. Hearing level. Okay. There is one more called as SL. Sensation level. Hearing level, sensation level. For example, if I have got some 20 decibel hearing level and someone wants to make me hear 80 decibels, they can add 6 decibels to that. Is it or not? I have got 1 meter clock. Someone wants to give me 8 meters clock. I need not have 8 meters. I already have 1 meter. What is to be added to that is 7 meters. This is just an example I am telling you. So in a normal person with 0 decibel loss, that is a normal person having 0 decibel loss, if he is given 60 decibels, he hears as 60 decibels only. For a person with 20 decibel loss, if he is given 60 decibel sound outside, he hears 40 decibels only. That is what is called as sensation levels. Already you are deaf by 20 decibels. If you are given 60 decibel sound, you will hear only 40 decibels. Already I have 1 meter clock. If you want to make me 8 meters, you give just 7 meters, that's it. Is it or not? So 40 decibel sensation level plus 20 decibel deafness of a particular person becomes 60 decibel hearing level for a particular deaf person. And these are all only terminologies. Okay. This SPL, HL, okay, this SL. SL is a sensation level. For example, a person is having 40 decibel loss already in his mind, in his ear. 40 decibel loss. If you give 60 decibel, he will be able to hear only 20 decibel. If you give 60 decibel external sound, he has already got 40 decibel loss, therefore he will hear only 20 decibel. This is the concept of the sensation level. Don't get confused too much about this sensation level, etc. etc. So, what did you understand by this particular topic is that decibel is the intensity of sound that you are able to hear, and intensity is related to our power or pressure. Power, pressure, power is equal to pressure square. This is the concept which you have learned. You have learned about bell and decibel. You have learned about log of IO by IR. And these are all concepts that are there in your books that once if you read, you will be having a fair idea of these things. And there is something called as loudness discomfort level. Loudness discomfort level. Loudness discomfort level is something which is helpful to give the hearing aid. How much loudness we can bear. Okay. How much loudness we can bear. And this is helpful in prescribing the hearing aid. Hearing aid. So there is some more other word which I'm not depicting in the PowerPoint, something called as dynamic range. You have to know about this dynamic range. That means to say that the most comfortable level and loudness discomfort level. Dynamic range is which you can bear. Most comfortable level and loudness discomfort level. The difference between most comfortable level and loudness discomfort level. So this is called as dynamic range. And as a whole, after you understand this one, pure tone audiometry impedance audiometry and various other audiometries can be dealt in the next class, I suppose. I think that most of these concepts are fair for you, but you have to read it for once or twice. And based on this only, you will be able to understand the concept of pure tone audiometry and other audiometry, which I am going to take in the next class. I hope most of the people are there. Can anyone answer? Are you able to follow or not? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Any doubts are there, you can ask. But don't ask me which doubts. Request for one doubt to clear this class at least. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Madams and sir. Yeah,
Hello?
please. Yeah, please.
Sir, the last part that you told about dynamic rings, how
Yeah.
exactly is that useful in Hello?
In?
Like the
Yeah.
dynamic
In?
rings bit of it, how exactly is it useful in clinical practice?
Dynamic range, as I told you, loudness, discomfort level, and most comfortable level. For example, you have
Hmm?
got some hearing loss. Okay.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
And you have got some hearing loss, for suppose it is some 80 decibels.
Mm-hmm.
And you are going to give a hearing aid which is going to give you sound more than 100 decibels, for example. Just an example
Hmm.
I'm telling right now,
Hmm.
perfect match. So when you are prescribing a hearing aid, that particular matching of these intensities can be done, something like that. Don't
Oh,
think too
okay.
much about that. It is helpful in prescription of hearing aid. That's it.
Okay,
Okay.
sir.
Yeah. So dynamic range based on that only will give. You can't give, Excel sheet for a short person. Is it or not?
Sure.
Something like that. You have to understand like that.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Okay, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Anything more? Yeah. Anybody more who ask any doubts, please? Yeah. I think we can halt this class. The next class will be, I think, about the. For myself, it will be about a Pluton and various types of audio meters. Every word in this PowerPoint is important because you can be given as a short note. This is the more of an understanding part rather than a remembering part. You have to read twice or thrice to understand this and apply this knowledge on Pluton audiometry and various other audiometries and apply this knowledge as a whole on hearing and audiology. Thank you very much.